Chris, and thank you, Ramsar, for the opportunity. This is my second time here. Last time I was here, I think, started guys and the 22 years of service that you've done, given to the nation. I think it is a truly commendable that you've done it by yourself. So, really, we have two examples of it. I'll take it a little bit broader to that, like just not to stick on the fintech only. Just generally, the tech market in Pakistan is booming. And I think we need to believe, just to give you a little bit of background, I spent the last 35 years in the US, worked in the US, studied in the US, worked in the private equity, venture capital, you name it, in different sectors. And then moved to Pakistan for 13 months and led the role for Pakistan Software Export Board, which is the prime entity which is responsible for Pakistan tech industry and Pakistan tech exports. And some of the people who were here before me, and you heard the numbers are showing that we are growing. And the reason is we are finally getting some things right. Some things right. I think the biggest hurdle for us, for as a nation, as a Pakistan, was our perception, our geopolitical risk, our focus on bringing the youth into the main markets. I mean, these are the like fundamental issues. What has happened in the last year or 2 years, if you want to think about it, and I've seen the pre and post May 10th also, there is a fundamental shift in the tone, in the language, in the reception, in the incoming queries that are coming out for us. I think the best thing these days, and I say the campaign that has to be done and is doing right now, and I say Pakistan now. It's a call to action. We have not realized what has happened in the last 6 months. And truly, I've been on the other side, was working in the private, but now in the public sector for a while, and the tones have completely changed. The seat at the table is there for you. It is short shelf life. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it again. And I think that is the lesson we have to learn. And I'm very optimistic after working for almost a year with the youth. I think our biggest asset and our biggest opportunity is our youth. So incredibly talented, connected, savvy, entrepreneurial, and the word you use that I said, somebody asked me, so what was your experience look like and how the nation was? I just defined that the whole nation in one word. And I mean it to say our nation is resilient. You throw whatever you want to throw out at them. Even if you don't give them internet, they will figure it out how to explore. Trust me, they are the most resilient people in the world. They will figure it out how to make things work for you. And I think that comes with your own creativity. When you have less opportunities, when you have less options, you tend to be more creative about it. And that's what happens. I grew up in Karachi for the first 20 years, and then I went to the States, and then I spent there. The reason was I did not go to very good schools, I did not have anything, I came from a very humble background. The reason why alhamdulillah, I think I was able to make it well in the US was because my grooming and my thing was I have to figure out a solution for everything. I don't understand why people have to just stop and say, this is a problem. So what are you going to do about it? What are the option B? What is the plan B? What is the plan C? I think that resilience, that is what we have in our people, in our nation, in our youth, is what's bringing and propelling us to the next nation. Now, going to that other point, I just want to mix a few things here too. Is like Sami said it absolutely right. We are doing well, but we're not doing great. And I think we just have to be very conscious to say, yes, we are doing well, but we're not doing great. Our potential is so much bigger than what we do. We focus on services, we deliver services, we deliver talent, we do this. The things that will take you to the next level or next two levels is when you start to create your own products and the technologies, and that will actually take you. Our biggest IT companies are still not $1 billion. And I think that's the reason is because they're services companies. And services businesses are only going to get more and more tough. So as a nation, as a product, and I think what we've been preaching to the decision makers always, and then there's very receptive to it. Like, how do we create entrepreneurs who are creating world-class products at the global level and think global? And you're doing an amazing work there. And There are a few others that are doing this, but I think this needs to be 10 times more today. And if you as an entrepreneur, you are here as startups also, I'll tell you, you are the most luckiest entrepreneurs you have for Pakistan. This is the best time for you. It is the best time for you to go and pitch globally. Because I in the US have done this work from the other side. Now, I go and I say I'm from Pakistan. 10 years ago, 2 years ago, I could not even say I'm from Pakistan. My shop is in India. My shop is my front office is in the US. And they were afraid to say that Pakistan has a back office. Now you can boldly go in and say, my back office is in Pakistan. The same Pakistan who now has credibility on the cyberspace, on our technology space, what we show to the world that we're better than anybody else. And we've shown it and we've proven it. So now is the time for you to be confident. Now is the time to think big. Now it's time to go up all in for it. And our numbers obviously are showing up that we just, exports are growing, the ecosystem is growing. What we need to do is to do this. And I think one last point, our problem is not policy. Our problem is not reports. Our policy is not skill, probably a little bit more can be done. Our problem is execution.
डेवोस के मनाजिर हैं जहां इन्वेस्टमेंट इन पाकिस्तान सेशन इस वक्त चल रहा है और अब से कुछ देर पहले समीर चिश्ती साहब जो एग्जीक्यूटिव चेयरमैन एशिया पाक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के उन्होंने भी बहुत ही अहम तरीन खिताब किया और मईशत के एतबार से बड़े अहम पॉइंट्स पर उन्होंने बात की। सबसे पहले उन्होंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान में इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्यूचर इस वक्त बहुत ज़्यादा ब्राइट है। इन्वेस्टमेंट के बहुत सारे मौके इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में मौजूद हैं। पाकिस्तान इस वक्त एक ग्रोइंग इकॉनमी की तरह ऊपर जा रहा है और इसके हर सूबे और हर सेक्टर में इन्वेस्टमेंट की अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मौजूद हैं। ख़ासतौर पर टेक्नोलॉजी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से उन्होंने बात की और कहा कि टेक्नोलॉजी की एडॉप्शन पाकिस्तान की इकॉनमी की ग्रोथ में इस वक्त बहुत अहम किरदार अदा कर रही है और अब इसका रिफ्लेक्शन भी वाज़े तौर पर नंबर्स की सूरत में सामने आना शुरू हो चुका है और ये नंबर्स इसी तरह ऊपर जाते रहेंगे। फिर प्राइवेट सेक्टर के हवाले से उन्होंने बात की कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर इस ग्रोथ में बहुत अहम किरदार अदा कर रहा है और अब हुकूमत भी बखूबी प्राइवेट सेक्टर की अहमियत को समझने लगी है और इस वर्ल्ड इकनॉमिक फोरम में जिस तरह प्राइवेट सेक्टर को नुमाइंदगी का मौका दिया गया, जिस तरह उन पर ट्रस्ट किया गया, वो इस बात की वाज़ेह अलामत और निशानी है कि आगे चलकर प्राइवेट सेक्टर ने पाकिस्तान की इकॉनमी में एक बहुत अहम किरदार अदा करना है। साथ ही उन्होंने कहा कि हमें अभी बहुत कुछ करना है और इसका एक बहुत ही पॉजिटिव आगाज़ हो चुका है और ये सिलसिला इसी तरह से आगे चलता रहेगा। वर्ल्ड इकनॉमिक फोरम डेवोस में इस वक्त जारी है जिसमें अहम गुफ्तगू समीर चिश्ती की जानिब से की गई है।
Have increased over $13.5 billion. And the inquiries are far more than what we have done so far. So I think that in many other space, in the same thing, we just graduated from 0 to 100, and our acceleration as a nation is very speedy. So whosoever wants to take up on this, that in the Pakistan of tomorrow will be led by the technology part or the traditional things that we have been doing. And I can request again, it's a philosophical sort of question for Michael to answer. But developing countries like Pakistan, do you feel their success lies in going to the technological part or carry on with what they are doing and just complement it with the technology? It's an easy answer. Please. Question.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah, there we go. No, one has to adjust to the times. And we know that what drives the global economy now is the very things you were just referring to, and obviously tech and all of its variations. And I think more broadly, one could see that countries that depend solely on one economy, one export to drive their economies, it comes back to hurt them. And I think you could look at the Bangladesh as an example. Bangladesh for many years was able to benefit from the success of its RMG industry, which made it a wonder when it came to textile exports. But what we've seen in the last few years is Bangladesh's economy has gone in a bit of a different direction and struggled. And I think that's a reflection that countries need to not only be export-led, as the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister said today, but led by a variety of exports. So absolutely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with continuing to export textiles from Pakistan. Of course, there's plenty of competition from its neighbors and others. But absolutely need to capitalize on IT exports, AI, and all of that. But again, Pakistan is going to be competing with many other countries. The question is how to How does Pakistan set itself apart from the Singapores and the Indias and the Europeans and so much? That's a question for the economists to decide.
Sabir, your last words on this statement, and anything that you want to cover?
Yes, I appreciate.
Just a quick comment, because
Yeah, I'll
1:30 is the deadline you will
I'll
write.
try to- I'll try to be very quick if I can get this thing to work. Technology is failing me, exactly. So I don't know if you can hear
Technology
me.
part.
So half my life is as a technology investor. I run a company. I co-run a company. Spark Labs is the world's third biggest early stage tech investor. But one spin out of that we started 18 months ago is based on a fundamental thesis we had about 18 months ago that the entire world will need its own intelligence. That all the compute in the world sits in the US or in China. And our thesis, this is before Trump lost his mind, our thesis was every single country will need to own its own data, will need to own its own intelligence, to own its own compute and to develop its own apps. It needs to do it on proprietary data. So nations' intelligence effectively put to good use is the nation's economy. What that led us to do is to build sovereign AI factories. We build sovereign AI factories in middle markets. We should talk.
Okay.
So we are building 4 right now. 2 in Nordics, 1 in Europe, and 1 in South Asia. We'd love to do more. And if any of you are interested, please do talk.
Your last word from Abu Bakr.
I think we've said it all, but again, the question was, should we invest in the traditional, should we invest in the neo? I think the answer is simple. I think we should invest in anything that will bring money into Pakistan. But obviously the focus has to be in the new economy because I think you need to future-proof yourself. And I think this is where the biggest need for in 5 years down the road may not be textile.
Absolutely.
Will be the talent and the intelligence that is needed, and that's what we have, and we need to do this right now today, and this is the opportunity for us.
So the margins in the textile and the margin technologies are way apart before the country. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I founded myself in development organizations. So let me take the opportunity. We have really about 5 minutes in the thing, but let me take the opportunity to, as one of the finest technocrats, both in Mission of Government and afterwards, to comment a little bit about investment in Pakistan.
Thank you very much, Ram Sahab. First of all, I want to congratulate you. You consistently and proactively over the last 7 decades helped support here in made Pakistan present in Davos, and we want to congratulate you and commend you for your role. I now am the CEO of Gavi, the Global Vaccine Alliance. So unfortunately, I can't be as present in Pakistan events as I would very much like to. But I wanted to be here just to pay my respects, to express my solidarity. This, of course, is our home in Davos. I'm delighted to see you all up on the stage talking about investments in Pakistan. Pakistan is an amazing destination. It's a jewel that has not been discovered well. You will find people very proactive and facilitative. There is a government that really wants to facilitate investments. And all I can say to you is that it's a destination you should prioritize. And I really want to thank you for having me speak.
Thank you, Dr. Sanesh, it's all spoken so well about Pakistan. And, one of the finest technocrats I dealt with during the and she was in and out of government as Dr. Sanesh. I think, she said the ISP on the right lines. Today, what we're going to do with the people are going to do with the ISP because of the foundation that she did. Well, I think the panelists I'd like to congratulate Farid Alam, Abu Bakr, Chishty, and Michael. I think you gave a broad, let me say, broad picture, spectrum of what Pakistan investment now it can be. And you're very right. 3 years ago, when I used to go to talk in various think tanks in the States and Europe, everybody used to throw Pakistan fatigue at me. Pakistan fatigue at me. Now, and I kept on telling them, I said, you ain't seen nothing yet. So but the point is that it is now changed. In the last year or so, we've seen, the finance minister is not here, but I must tell you that a lot of work that he did in adhering to the promises that were made. See, people make a lot of promises to the IMF, World Bank, and they come back and throw the book aside. Now, be adhering to the promises made, and it's a difficult process. So I think that thing, but you could not have a more authentic voice than Fareed. Thank you for being here. And Abu Bakr, of course, brings both sides to it. Because he brought Samir. But both of them were outside and inside. Both the Pakistanis were really, that it worked. I think I know Abu Bakr was telling me in 1 year's time he made 17 foreign trips just to hunt up the thing. And of course, did a lot of work for the Pakistan Software Export Board. And Samir, of course, what can one say? Sharia is not here. But, to invest in Pakistan, put your money where your mouth is, so to say. It's a great deal. So I think we have had a terrific session. That's it. And I apologize. My son is not here. And I suppose he's been caught up in the Trump mania traffic, because I believe what they're doing is they're evacuating the houses around the Congress Center first, and then he's going to land by helicopter. And during the evacuation, and so somebody stuck up somewhere, and so Mr. Sardar. So please, but even then, I think we did a good session. Thank you, everybody. Now, please, lunch will be served almost immediately, and I request you to please, there are enough tables around, enough to see, please, I can see the lunch is already arriving, and lunch. Thank you. Thank you. Pathfinder group, what someone that has
समीर चिश्ती एग्जीक्यूटिव चेयरमैन एशिया पाक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इस वक्त मौजूद थे। जो फोरम इस वक्त डेवोस में चल रहा है, इंस्पायरिंग पाकिस्तान के नाम से इस सेशन का आगाज़ हुआ। इन्वेस्टमेंट इन पाकिस्तान इसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट सेशन था, जिसमें ये गुफ्तगू इस वक्त पूरे पैनल ने की है, जिसमें समीर चिश्ती ने प्राइवेटाइजेशन पर के हवाले से उन्होंने को उन्होंने ब्राइट करा दिया। इसके अलावा फरीद आलम जो CEO हैं AKD सिक्योरिटीज़ के, उन्होंने भी वहाँ पर खुसूसी गुफ्तगू की।
दूसरी जानिब वज़ीर आला पंजाब मरियम नवाज सराब कर रही हैं। जंग में डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर अस्पताल में अमराज कल्ब लेबॉर्ट्री के संगे बुनियाद की तकरीब जारी।
उनके घर का दरवाजा खटका के का स्टॉक उनके हाथ में पकड़ा के आते, और इसको हम और भी बढ़ाएंगे इंशाअल्लाह ताला। इसी तरह एक डायलिसिस बहुत बड़ी तादाद है पेशेंट्स की जिनको हफ्ते में 2 या 3 या 1 बार डायलिसिस की ज़रूरत पड़ती है। तो आप जानते हैं कि डायलिसिस कार्ड के थ्रू 10 लाख रुपया साल का वो अपने डायलिसिस पे लगा सकते हैं। जहाँ से भी वो डायलिसिस कराएं पे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पंजाब करेगी। उनका इंजेक्शन जो एरिथ्रोपोइटिन का इंजेक्शन होता है